Hi guys, it's Artem and it's our podcast episode number 1. Today with us we have Expert and we have Reza from Expert talking about all the awesome things you can do with our application and most importantly, what is bid optimization. So thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Artem. Yes, thank you so much for having me on this call. As Artem mentioned, my name is Reza. I'm working with Adspert. I'm working as an AE and in charge of all Europe and Russia. So, what is bid optimization tool? This is the most form of the paid digital marketing use an auction model with advertisers compete against each other to display their ads to a desired audience. So each advertiser nominates a bid that represents the maximum amount of the money that they are willing to pay for auction. So bid optimization can require quite a bit of time and attention. With a bid optimization tool like AdSpert, all of the manual elements are removed and managed by sophisticated software that will improve performance and save your time.
That sounds really, really good. But I'm sure some of us use the AdWords nowadays called Google Ads, and other PPC platforms, and they already have some optimization tools, right? I mean, in AdWords, person who maybe wouldn't be doing advertising campaign management every day, he would be like, wow, there is already maximize clicks, optimization strategy, maximize conversion, maximize, conversion values and so forth. So why would I need bid optimization software? Because obviously that's an additional cost, right? I mean, there is additional cost associated with it. So how are you guys, or in general, why bid optimization software, could even be better since you don't have as deep access as, Google AdWords probably has in its own, algorithms and so forth. So what are you able to do better compared to native ways to optimize bids?
Okay, that's a very good question. So basically, as you mentioned, there are also some other tools on the market, but as for as a like PPC software solutions,
Mm-hmm.
we use and take the AI driven and set the bids for you automatically, which it would suggest new keywords as well,
Mm-hmm.
and also gives you valuable insight that you can also use for your campaigns. So
Mm-hmm.
beside that, as a third party, we just taking care of all your advertising and also budget to be able to have a fully control to see how does this software spend. And on the other hand, you're able to get as much conversions as possible or as much results as possible.
So if I, kind of ask additional questions, you mentioned that the software could actually even suggest new keywords, right?
Right,
So basically, maybe you do some data mining and so forth, and you say, hey, consider using this keyword, right? And then,
right.
but can you like automate the process? Can it go even further? Can it do some keyword insertion by itself and testing and so forth?
So yes, basically we have basically two options in our solutions, which helps all the Amazon or like Amazon and also Google advertisers
Mm-hmm.
to select and monitor the keywords that we suggested and add it through our software with 2 clicks, or they can also let software to add it automatically.
Oh.
And how we found basically those keywords is based on again the some bidding criteria that we set out on the back end to be able to get the relevant keywords, which we are able to increase their conversions, revenue, and also profit.
Yeah. So if we talk about, in general, PPC, auction style based advertising platforms, obviously the most popular ones are probably, Google, Google Ads. Then we have Facebook, we have Bing, we have other, for example, Russian based Yandex, right, which is also very popular platform in ex-USSR countries. Besides that, you mentioned Amazon. That's pretty awesome, right? You do also PPC optimization for Amazon as well?
Yes. Actually, Artem, as you mentioned, we are, as a cross-platform, we are able to optimize Google, like search shopping display,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Ads, like previously Bing, Yandex, and Amazon.
Okay, cool, cool. By the way, you probably heard, right, that Google had made some of the Google Shopping functionality now free, right? So basically, you can get some maybe basic visibility, right, in Google Shopping
Right.
now for free. But some people have a little bit more, a little bit of misunderstanding. They kind of think that maybe it's now completely free. That's not the case, right? It's just
Mhm.
some sliver of visibility that they offer to you for free, and everything else you would have to get by still paying for clicks, right?
Right.
Yeah, good, good. So if we talk about bid optimization tools in general, so a lot of people I think are still in the dark when it comes to bid optimization tools.
Mhm.
To be honest, since we have been working in Russian market, we have been kind of familiar with Yandex, and there's a lot of optimization tools around Yandex, and it seems to be that Russians are really really keen on getting everything out of the marketing budget. So
Mhm.
I've been familiar with different tools that are there in place. But in terms of maybe Google AdWords and Google Ads in general, I kind of always had that idea that it's kind of like big players kind of tool,
Mhm.
so when we talk about bid optimization, uh, I kind of think right away is that, okay, bid optimization is something that I would use a software, external software, when I have squeezed everything out of my native campaign. So when I have done everything I can do, and now I need that extra kick, or
Mhm.
maybe I want to reduce amount of manual work. So I want to automate my process. So for example, if I would be a marketing agency, right, and I have like 200 accounts, for example, then automatically I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be a better way than using AdWords editor and stuff like that. There must be something much better. So when you think about bid optimization, um, when should I care about it? At what point should I be like, okay, there must be a better tool for this?
So again, that's a very good point. Basically, the main consuming part of advertising is bidding.
Yeah.
So if we have automations in-house, or even for the agency, they use the automation, then the software will able to save their time as
Mm-hmm.
a one fact, and on the other hand, they also able to get the right results. So as you know, as a machine sometimes is working better than the human, but it would be also even better with the control of the human mixturing with the machine. So this is something Expert will able to let the users to be able to also use the automations on the one hand, save their time, and also give them also the all of the functionality and reports that they are able to monitor everything. And then based on this time that they save, they can
Yeah.
focus on some other part of that, like optimizing their content, optimizing their pictures of the ads, and so on and so forth.
Okay, that sounds good. So, but again, I think that's very good overview in terms of the benefits of the bid optimization tool. But from the advertiser perspective, when should I care, and when should I consider using bid optimization tool? Could it be in the case where I'm, for example, working in a really competitive space and I need some optimization tools in order to get some traction, optimize conversion? Would it be once I move past maybe a few €100 in daily budget, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to have a really big budget or a medium-sized budget, I should think about optimization tools. Like, at what point should I be like, hey, I need to think about options that I have for optimizing bids?
So basically, we would suggest that whenever you create your campaigns and you have at least some conversions, it's better to use some solutions
Yeah.
such as Adspert to be able to optimize those. And then software will automatically able to find out the right keywords, suggest you need the relevant keywords, and also find out the optimum bids to be able to spend your money on the right direction to get
Mm-hmm.
as much conversion as possible, and also experience it in terms of getting more data and optimize it. So basically, just if you want to be super simple, from the first point when you create your campaigns, and at least you have some conversions, you're able to use the automation solution, such as us.
So, but let's say if I have $3, campaign, $300, maybe not $3, but let's say $300, marketing campaign in AdWords, something really basic. Should I bring heavy tools like bidding optimization there, or
That's a
yeah?
that's
So
a
what
that's a,
what would you say? Obviously, since you work with Adspert, you're like, come on, Artem, from the day one, like marketing budget over €1, you gotta start working with that. But of course, but when would be, kind of like natural time to start thinking about, paying you guys?
yes, that's true. That's again, it's again up to you, the advertisers. It's definitely okay when someone has a $3 as a budget, is not cost effective for them to use the software. It's basically whenever it's going to be cost effective when they pay for fees to us, and
Mhm.
then we are also able to save their time and also save their budget and also improve their ROI and also the revenue. Then they can use some kind of bid optimization tools such as us.
Mhm.
And because at least at the end of the day, we are not going to be free, so they have to also pay to us. So basically, they have also some budget at least to be able to optimize, and
Yeah.
also based on other KPIs that I mentioned,
Yeah.
then they can get the.
You're very diplomatically correctly saying that, like anytime, any point. But if we think about it from the perspective of practicality, um, if I have a few grand that I spend a month and I have an e-commerce store, let's say I'm working in a very, very tough space. So let's say I'm selling face masks. Face masks are now like going like hotcakes. I mean, I checked Amazon statistics for like past
Mhm.
month, and in USA there are few sellers who sell over, I think, close to $2 million worth of masks every month, since the situation has been progressing and so forth. So obviously people are going to do a lot of optimization in order to get a lot more clicks, get better conversions and stuff like that. So if you think about it, from my understanding and understanding working with bidding optimization tools, I think when you have something like e-commerce, when you see actually the real conversion value, you see conversion right away. That's where you kind of benefit the most, maybe from bidding optimization, because the system has a lot more data to work with. It has
Mhm.
conversion data, but it also has conversion value data. So it knows kind of like, okay, there are many conversions of small value. That's not as good as having few bigger value conversions. And then I think, to be completely honest, um, I think bidding optimization kind of makes sense when you have like a large campaign, or you have ability to increase budget. So you don't have to start with a huge budget, but you have
Mhm.
ability to increase budget once bidding optimization software says like, hey, here, this thing is working, it's bringing a lot of cash to us, and you're able to kind of like push forward and increase the budget, and then reduce when it doesn't make sense, and kind of do the jumps.
Mhm.
um, so for me personally, I think bid optimization makes sense there. And also I've seen obviously agencies and big companies. I know that you guys work with a Finnish company called Polar. They sell a
Yes.
lot of cool watches, and unfortunately I don't have my Polar watch on me right now. It would have been a really good, kind of like, hey,
Mhm.
Polar. um,
Yes.
but they probably have a lot of campaigns in different countries. They have multilingual campaigns and so forth. So obviously it makes sense because they have multiple countries managing their own campaigns. Then they have HQ campaigns most likely, and so forth. So for them
Mhm.
it obviously makes sense. But from your perspective, who would you feel is like the ideal customer for you guys? Who would benefit the most? Is it like the bigger company with many accounts, or is it an e-commerce website operating in a very competitive market, or something in between?
Okay. Let me correct my sentence, like
Okay.
what you mentioned. So basically, we have to divide it in two sections. The first
Okay.
one, when someone is a very beginner and they would like to spend a very small amount of money,
Yeah.
then he has to think about if paying for the software is cost effective or not. But on the other hand, we have also some clients, such as Polar, as you mentioned, or some other clients, that they have also some other campaigns which are up and running, but they want like also to create new campaigns and do the new product, and they would like also put the money on some new product. So it means we do not have the historical data for those campaigns, but anyhow, our software has ability to optimize those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And try to generate also basically the data and to be able to find the right optimum bids and also the right keywords. So basically, again, it's gonna come to the being as a cost-effective part. And we are working with the SMBs and also enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
So we are fit to any kind of sector, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's gonna also, when they have a large amount of campaigns and large amount of keywords which they have to manage, is bring more benefits, which is correct, because it's going to be again saving
Saving
the
more
huge
time
time.
probably and so forth.
Exactly, and also is easier to use. That's correct. But anyhow, as a fully scalable software, it's able to optimize the small amounts and also big amounts and also big accounts. Just as an example, we are working with some agencies.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, agencies have the different type of customer with the different range of the customer.
Yeah.
So they have the small clients, they have also big clients, and somehow they use us for some of their big clients, and they add also this many small accounts which they have to monitor on a daily basis, which is difficult for them with a small budget, but anyhow they can also optimize it with us.
Okay, cool. So lot of good good ideas on how to use your software, and obviously you're making a good case for maybe a smaller enterprise and maybe even agencies or bigger companies. Can we actually see it in action in some way? Because it's all words and all benefits and so forth, but from my practical perspective, how does it work? Is it a Windows software I download? Is it an application that I use? Is it a web application? Do I have to like how would it work? And also, do you provide software only, or is there some service attached to the software so that you are actually helping me optimize my campaign?
So basically, this is based on the license, so they can type the login account and then just log in. And how they can connect is like a plug and play. They just easily connect their account through the API, and
Yeah.
then we pull the data to our software. Easily, they can set the goal, and then the software will optimize that.
Yeah.
It's not only software, we have also services, which we call it as a client success manager, to dedicate it to each accounts and try to help them to optimize and keep the performance on the level that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And if something goes wrong, then our team will also inform the clients. Is it a kind of hand-to-hand working to be able to try to help them to achieve their goal?
Okay.
That's how it works.
So basically, if I translate, kind of like sales speak, so basically you have self-service model for smaller customers or customers who are technically like savvy and they're like, okay, I know what I'm doing, just get out of my way, give me the tool, let me work. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have additional added value services for customers who don't have time or they don't have the know-how, but they are willing to spend a little bit of their budget on additional services in order, for example, to get started or something like that.
Right. So that's correct. But basically, we will help them in terms of, again, the optimization for the campaigns. So we are not at this stage to also, for example, as an agency provider, to create campaigns for them, to basically create ads for them. Whenever they created all of their campaigns specifically for Google, then and start optimizing, then we have the additional services to working with them on the accounts to be able to help and keep the performance on the right level. And if they have some other question in terms of our software or in terms of their campaign, they can also get back to our team, and then they help them.
Yeah.
So we
So
have,
so
as you
basically
mentioned, we
you
have two
focus,
options.
yeah,
Yes,
but you focus on the optimization part. So basically
right.
that's your focus, no matter if it's software or if it's, additional consulting services that you provide, you still, focus on optimization part of things. So you don't go and analyze landing page and you're like, hey, we have cool ideas for marketing campaign. You don't do that. You kind of work with the numbers. When numbers start to look bad, you're like, hey, this is what we can do, this is what we can tweak and turn the knobs and so forth.
Exactly.
And when I don't know what I should optimize, you maybe also can come in and say like, hey, we looked at your numbers and this is the areas we would focus on in terms of optimization. So I can get some maybe ideas from you as well if I don't know where to optimize. Obviously it costs something, but do you have like a free trial or something that we can use so that we can test? I have an e-commerce store myself, so I would be really interested to see what I can squeeze out of my marketing campaign with your software and without it, so I can kind of compare the benefits.
Right. So yes, we will offer also the free trial, and we just made a specific promo code for this
Podcast, yeah.
podcast. Yes, and I can also tell the promo code, which is Aspert 2105.
Okay, cool.
So all of the people who are interested and also watch this video, they can also sign up and also take their free trial.
How long is free trial?
It's 30 days.
Okay, oh, that's generous. I think that's generous
Yes,
because obviously, like 2 weeks maybe is too short because you don't have enough data, maybe. But I think 30 days is like a pretty long period.
exactly. So, and why this is the best time actually. The users can track how our software is efficient and compare with the data that they had or the results that they had in the past 30 days.
Yeah.
So they can do also the comparison and see the improvements.
Okay.
If we have also some case study, which is available on our website, which is adspert.net, or we can also provide some other case study directly to them when they have signed up.
Good. Good. Awesome. Sounds really good. So can we get a slice of that software now? In the video, can you share your screen if you have a few moments? It
Yes.
would be really nice to maybe see a demo or something because obviously obviously there are many different tools in the market, right, for bid optimization. And obviously you guys have your own advantage, your own competitive edge in some things, but also
Mhm.
in many cases I think ease of use is very important when it comes to bid optimization tools. If it's easy to use, then people are more likely to use it. And I have seen, especially software made for Yandex, I have seen some crazy interfaces, like really bananas. They're really cool, but I feel like I need to have an engineering degree in many in many disciplines to just understand how it works. So it'd be really nice to see because we know each other previously from other engagements, but when you have demoed the software to me at some point, I thought that wow. First thing that I kind of felt that is different a bit is that it's pretty simple to understand.
Great. Yes, I can share my screen to show you. As you mentioned, yes, some of the tools are quite complicated to use,
Yes.
but our solution is very easy to use and also really intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, also the connection is also not that much difficult. It's like plug and play. They just connect their account and they will see the data in 2 minutes. So give me a second
Of
to share
course, of
my
course.
screen.
Don't show anything too confidential.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. But it would be nice if you give me the possibility to share my screen because
Okay,
I
okay, okay,
can't.
okay. It's too restrictive. Let's what make host? I don't know. Let's see. Um, so I think now you're a host and you should be able to show us
Yes.
your screen. There we
So
go. There. Okay, I
yes,
see wonderful graphs. So that's
yes,
that that's good already. So basically, the way that I understand it is, you guys basically have a web service, and I
yes.
register, and once I register, I give access to my AdWords. For example, if I'm working with AdWords, I give access to my AdWords account via
Right.
API, which means at any point I can disable the access if I decide to not continue with the trial, for example, or I can connect multiple accounts. Maybe if my license permits it, I can connect maybe additional data and so forth. Can I run optimization for multiple channels? So can I do AdWords, Yandex, and Amazon at the same
Right.
time?
Exactly. This is going to be happen. Also, you can also add, you can connect your MCC,
Ah,
and
okay.
you can
Even
also
MCC.
add,
Okay.
exactly, you can add also MCC, which most of the agencies connected their accounts,
Yeah.
and they get also the list of their clients. As an agency or direct spenders, if they're working with a freelancer or they are working with some other, they have also give them the other access with the limitations to the another users. They can connect all of their accounts like Amazon, Google. We have some customer who are also selling on Amazon, and they have also Google Ads, so they can monitor everything on one place. As a cross-platform, we are optimizing all of their accounts, and in the very near future, we are able to split their budget based on the channel that they are able to get as much conversions and as possible,
Yeah.
or even as much revenue as possible. Our one of the USP, which I need to mention, is profit optimization.
Mm-hmm. So that's basically
Uh,
more for e-commerce, right?
exactly. When they have the conversion value, we are also able to optimize. For the profit optimization, they need to provide us the data, which like cost of goods on other extra costs, and also the pricing, and software will dynamically calculate and optimize their profit based on the ads spent, like ad spend, and then we will again we spend the money on the right directions, which they are able to get the highest value.
Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Cool.
Uh,
Let's see.
yes, just also a quick introduction.
Of course.
This is our performance monitor. I hope it's big enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
To
big
show
enough. Yeah.
you, as you asked, I can also tell you, you can also connect, when you connect your account, you're able to see all of their accounts here on the right top corner. You can click on one of their accounts, and then you will able to monitor the performance of the accounts. So
Yeah.
basically, you are able to monitor the performance on the account level based on all campaigns. You can able to monitor based on the each campaign, or if you group your campaigns, you are also able to monitor and also decide and which campaign is relevant, or you should pause it, you shouldn't, you should continue, you should increase your ads, and so on and so forth. You can also still select the time range. You can compare your time with ad, for example, in this case, all the time with ad spread and previous period, which is going to be a case for trial, for
Oh
example.
yeah, that's cool. So you can see like before and after ad spurt.
Exactly. And for example, in this case, the white area, which means the all the time with ad spread, and the gray area means the previous time
Mm-hmm.
that we compare. And you can also download all these graphs specifically for agencies which they would like to report it to their clients. It's easy to use for direct spenders when they need to report it to the C-levels. They can also download this graph and
Mm-hmm.
report to them, which is going to be helpful. We have also the relevant KPIs, which is conversion per day, cost per conversion, ROI, and CRR. As a machine learning technology, as I mentioned, they need to also to, when they connect the account, we need to learn their historical data to be able to find the right bids and also the right keywords. We provide also the what Adspert has done on their accounts, and how many activities we have done, and how many results we have generated based on our activities, as a nutshell on the performance monitor. And last but not least, on this page, they can also see and compare the results
Okay, cool.
during this time range. So as I told you, it's very easy to use. It's really intuitive. They have also more flexibility in terms of selecting the campaigns that they would
Mm-hmm.
like to optimize with us, which it means when they connect their account, it doesn't mean they have to optimize whole of the account. They can decide which campaign they would like to optimize. Artem, instead of talking too much, I would be happy to ask you if you have any questions
Of
so
course,
far. Then I move to the next.
I have too many questions. So first of all, can I optimize non-English campaigns? Is there anything that machine learning does, for example, better in with English campaigns compared to obviously? Obviously a lot of people are focusing on English language since most of the customers in the world in general use English, but other languages are growing in market share, and especially in developing countries there is a lot of opportunity for PPC optimization, and as we mentioned before, like Yandex and so forth. So is it language specific, the optimization system that you have, or would it work for any language?
It actually works for all of the language. So currently we have customer in Russia with the
Yeah.
Russian language. We have also customer US as an English area. We have from other countries like Netherlands, like Germany. So we
Obviously,
do
yeah.
not have any restrictions in terms of any language and also in terms of any currency. So for example, if they connected their accounts from euro or Danish krone or I don't know, dollar, so we are also able to see it here.
Okay, cool. So let's see the optimization part of things. So for example, I connected my account. Great. I have, for example, AdWords. Let's go with the easiest. I connected AdWords. Now my campaigns are imported into the system. Maybe I waited a few days so that the information is gathered. I have my Google Analytics. I connected it to AdWords. Conversion data is flowing nicely. I have already maybe like 100 conversions. What's next?
So what's next? So first of all, specifically when you want to start trial, as I told you, you can also select what campaigns you would like to optimize with us,
Okay,
which
cool.
will give you more flexibility. It's super easy. If you keep it as a green with the white tick means we are optimizing. If you don't want, you can also pause it.
Yeah, so basically
Super
I
easy.
can dip my toes into the water like pretty easily and just see one campaign versus other campaigns, so I can see what they are able to do, in one campaign, and if I like it, I can then, select all the campaigns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The second topic is whenever you have also the new campaigns, so we are automatically optimized if you let us to do it.
Okay.
So which means you shouldn't be that much worried when you create the campaigns for some customer if it's going to be optimized by software. If you should again log in, no,
Yeah.
you have this option to select and choose.
Yeah, but one point, just to be
Yes,
clear, I still continue creating campaigns over, at AdWords, right? If I
right.
use AdWords editor, or if I use MCC account, or just a regular AdWords account, creation part of things still happens over at that, kind of space with those tools that I'm used to. So I don't
Yes,
create new campaigns. I don't work with new texts. I don't upload banners or anything like that. And yeah, just another question before you even had time to answer this one. uh, you don't work with banners and all the fancy stuff like YouTube. Do you focus only on you know text based campaigns, or do you work with the whole range of, for example, what ads offers
so
in Google Ads?
okay, so basically on Google we are able to optimize Google search, Google
Yes.
Shopping,
Google
and also
Shopping.
Google Display.
Google Display as well, right? Okay,
Yes.
cool, cool. And what about other platforms?
So for Microsoft Ads also, and also the Yandex, for Yandex, we can also able to optimize search and also images.
Uh-huh.
But actually we are doing through the Yandex Metrica and Microsoft Ads.
Yeah.
And for Amazon, we are able to optimize sponsor brand, sponsored product
Okay,
for
okay.
keywords and also Asian.
Okay. That's cool. That's very cool. All right. So, and yeah, you already kind of like answered my question by nodding really aggressively when I said that you still continue creating ads over, at AdWords or at Yandex and so forth. So basically, I use your software only for optimization and reporting, right? That's pretty much what I use it for. Everything else happens with the tools that I'm accustomed to already. So I don't have to,
Exactly.
transfer to you guys, when it comes to creation. So I only
No.
do optimization. Cool. So what's next? I imported my data. I chose the campaigns that I want to optimize.
Yes.
What's
Mhm.
next?
The other value, which before jumping on the
Yes,
setting
please
the
do.
goals, is like You do not need to change and restructure all of the campaigns. So
Okay.
our software is working with the current structure that you have, even on Amazon or even on some other platforms such as Google or Yandex.
Okay.
And like, for example, Amazon, which we can also optimize Amazon vendor account and also Amazon seller account with the current structure that they have.
Okay. Cool.
So they are not going to also bring more tasks for them to
So
do.
you basically you don't touch my structure once I set it. That's
Mm,
what you were
exactly,
wanting to say. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool. That's
exactly.
very good. So you don't mess my account up.
Exactly, exactly. We will give you also some tips in order to improve your performance in future, but we will not change anything at all.
Okay. All right. Very good.
So, and basically when you select the proper campaigns that you would like to optimize with us, then you can move to goal and promotion,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to select the right campaigns and right goals. So basically, if you have the same goal for different basically same goal for the different campaigns, you can group all those campaigns and put it in the one performance group, which we named here as a head.
Yeah.
So you can name it as you wish. And then you can also select the right goal. So we have 5 different goals here, which is cost per month goal, cost per conversions, ROI, CRR, and autopilot means
What is
profit
autopilot?
optimization.
That's the first question that I have because that sounds
X,
way cool.
yes, means profit optimization.
Profit optimization. Okay, okay.
Exactly.
But you know, like I think you know at least AdWords, well, Google Ads, and obviously some most other mature PPC platforms, they already have ROI optimization,
Hmm.
and they have cost per conversion optimization and cost per conversion or target conversion cost is misunderstood by many because they think that it will make sure that it matches it.
Hmm.
So and not actually. So people set it at $1, for example. I'm willing to pay $1 for conversion. Obviously, that's not necessarily going to happen because the competition could be too fierce, or you don't have enough budget or whatever. But in terms of all of those goals, how does it work? So once I set different conversion or different goals for my campaigns, what actually happens in the background and how are they different from what is already natively exists in platforms such as AdWords?
Okay. So basically, software by heart is profit optimization. So whenever you are asking us to optimize the profit, so firstly, we are optimizing the profit. If you do not have, you're not the e-commerce website
So
or
like
e-commerce
B2B
account,
website and I want leads or something like that.
exactly. We are also able to optimize conversions.
Mm-hmm.
So again, step by step. So first profit, if not, then revenue. If not, for example, then we coming to the conversion value. We optimizing conversion. If you do not have the conversion value, we optimize conversions. So we try to get best results as we can for each goal. So for example, just give you a quick example, cost per month score. So if you have a 5,000 euros as a budget
Yeah.
for all of the campaigns and you would like to get as much conversions as possible, then you just select cost per month score. If you would like to select CPA goal, which should be on the certain amount,
Yeah.
and you would like to get as much conversion as possible for that CPA goal, then you can also select cost per conversions.
Yeah. So, but if I have like e-commerce and I have conversion data connected, I have e-commerce data connected, and everything flows nicely to AdWords,
Mhm.
should I start with something like autopilot and let the system, optimize for revenue?
So basically, for autopilot is profit optimization. So you have to provide us the cost of the goods and also the pricing, which we are
How
able to
does that
optimize.
happen? That's actually pretty interesting.
So,
How does that
yeah, you
happen?
just just provide us the data, and then we will set up in the software.
So
That's it.
basically, I can provide you like a Excel spreadsheet or something with my goods and their costs to me, and then you
Hmm.
can optimize for revenue. That's pretty neat. Do you charge anything extra for that?
No,
No. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And obviously, you can work with the big data, right? So I can provide you like thousands and
exactly,
thousands of products. Okay, cool.
exactly.
But if
So
I don't
currently,
have that, if I don't
mhm,
have that, my next option is probably to optimize for basically for revenue. Just I mean, for just amount of for expenditure, so that I want my customers to spend as much as possible on my store. That's pretty much
Mhm.
it, right? For sales value, basically.
Exact. So, for Amazon sellers, they would
Yeah,
like to increase their sales
yeah,
and at the same time profit and keep their ACOS or a cost of ads, advertising cost of sales on a certain level. So this is something that they would like to achieve. And currently, as you mentioned, like we are optimizing Polar accounts, so we try to get as much sales as possible for the different regions that they have
yes.
with the certain budget that they allocated to the ad campaigns.
Okay, so basically, if we are now moving forward, once I selected my strategy that is suitable for my business and for my campaign, what's next? I chose my goal. Basically, goal is kind of like optimization strategy, right? In a way, kind of.
Right. So for example, for this case, like cost per month goal, let's say 5,000
Yeah,
euros, and even you can also put it in the different performance group for the different goals if you're
yeah, of course.
looking for based on the strategy that you have in house. Even you need to optimize a goal per campaign, you can also select it and put it in the different performance group, or also put it as a single campaign goal, which you're able to do that. It's also is easy to use, like you just
I have a
uh,
friend. I have a friend, and he always says that you know no software is easy to use unless it has drag and drop, so you kind of you kind of make the cut, right? So I can drag and drop my campaigns to different groups, and that way change automatically optimization strategy according to the group, right?
exactly,
Yeah. Okay,
exactly.
okay. Let's get
Uh,
to the nitty gritty. Where's the
yes,
optimization
and
part?
then when you have done,
Yes,
then you just need to start optimization. Just there's a click here, and you will start optimizing. This is a demo account, as you see. When
yes.
the sign is in green, an account will be optimized. It means we are start optimizing.
Okay.
The good things that we offer to the advertisers, we are very transparent, so they can monitor what we have done in details. So on the report log area, they're able to monitor
It's like a change history in AdWords, right? So something
exact
similar. You can see if you have decreased bids, if you increased bids, added keywords, stuff like that.
exactly. They can monitor everything. They can see all the bids. We can also optimize for the bid adjustment as well for the different dimensions.
Yeah.
And we try to, again, get as much conversions and revenue as possible. So they can
So
monitor, yes.
yeah, no, it's really good stuff. But can you mention some of the optimization strategies that the software uses? For example, obviously, if you think about traditional optimization, so what the heck is optimization anyway when it comes to AdWords or whatever PPC marketing campaign? Basically, you optimize keywords, right? You add new keywords, you remove keywords that don't work, and
Mhm.
keywords that perform better, you increase bids possibly for them in order to get maybe more visibility. Then you look at certain, for example, devices, and for certain devices you increase or decrease bits. So if mobile is performing poorly, you decrease bits, and so forth. After that, obviously, you look at the ads themselves. So traditional optimization involves creating and tweaking ad text, so you kind of like change call to action and so forth. And there are some many other ways to optimize. But what does your software, do in terms of optimization? What kind of techniques does it use?
So that's getting to the very technical questions, which
Okay, okay.
our CTO will be able to answer this question, how we are optimizing and what kind of techniques we use. But actually, we invented some kind of formula in-house, and then we try based on the mathematical and statistical formula, which I can't not really
So
provide
so
because I'm
basically,
not
some machine learning, traditional, good old automatization. So, for example, obviously, you do things like when you see that you can get away with a smaller bid, you reduce the bid, and you see, okay, it's still bringing conversion. You do that kind of stuff. Obviously, you do automatic keyword removal, and as you mentioned before, addition. And then maybe there is some machine learning. So you do some predictions, you do
Mhm.
kind of like predicting of what might work and so forth based on the data, maybe based on the previous data. We don't have to go too much into the strategy. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
data freak myself in a way. I really like the idea of having computer being. I guess the biggest advantage for the traditional person is that
Mm-hmm.
algorithm is able to optimize many times a day. So basically, we can, if for example another competitor, a huge competitor, has left the advertising platform for 2 days, the system will kind of catch it. It says like, oh hey, we can reduce the bid and it's still working pretty well. We can reduce the cost for that 2 days, so maybe 2 hours even, if there is a interesting window that allows us to all of the sudden increase conversion rate and so forth by reducing still budget and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the machine is able to optimize 24/7. So you probably do optimizations like many times during a day, maybe even during 1 hour you do multiple optimizations, and then I guess the machine also can roll back, which is much harder for a person. So when you test 100 different things, if those things don't work, you can just the system can click undo, go back to previous state and continue different tactics. While the person, it will be very hard for the person to do 100 changes and then to just go back and start optimizing using different strategies.
Okay, so back to the first question, this is what kind of techniques we are using for optimizations. Just in general, I can tell you, like, we are using the information inheritance and also decision tree to optimize the ad campaigns. And then we would able to set the bids 6 times in a day,
Six
as
times a day, okay.
yes, as API let us to do it for specifically Google. I can also give you a quick insight here. For example, as you see, you're able to see. This internet is not that much good today. So, for example, you were able to monitor during the day what time is the best to set the higher bids or set the lower bids, and also during the week. So basically, we are able to set the bid 6 times in a day and 7 days in a week.
Okay, so basically with my e-commerce store, um, for example, for us, weekends, evening are pretty good, and then weekdays, probably after 8 o'clock, GTM +2 time zone is pretty good. So your system would automatically. So I guess the big also benefit is if something happens in the behavior of my customers, the system will catch it even if I do. So if, for example, Sunday stops being a really good day for us, the system will stop optimizing for Sunday and will try to optimize for other days that bring conversions, right?
Exactly. So based on the data and also based on the bids that are already set in the past, so software will predict what time of the day you're able to get the higher conversion and what time of the day you're able to get the less conversion. And based on these predictions, we are able to set the right bids. So for the time that you're able to get the highest conversions, we set the higher bids, and whenever you get the lowest conversion, we set the lower bids. In a
Okay.
sort of, in terms of not wasting your money.
Yeah, of course. Wasting money is a sin, so it's good that you're helping me do that. I mean, not
Yes.
waste money. Okay, good. Um, so can I like if we go to conversion again, like do you kind of manage that automatically, or am I able to impact it somehow? So where do I do? What was it? The screen that you showed before that shows optimization strategies. After I choose strategies, that's it, or is there something else?
Uh, so basically, whenever just again you set the goals
Yeah.
and then you just hit the button, then you do not need to do anything.
So
So
okay.
software would take the rest of the task, and then you just need to monitor. And whenever you have some questions, you can get back to the dedicated person related to your account, or you can also use the support button here to ask the
Yeah.
questions, and our team will get back to the advertisers or also the users as soon as possible.
So okay. Let me get this straight. So if I have a trial and I use the coupon, so I have the trial period of 30 days. I
Mm-hmm.
connect my AdWords account. Let's say it's an account, it's not a new account. So let's say it's been around for a year or so. So I have a lot of data, a lot of conversions. I have many different campaigns. I connect the account here. I set the goal. For example, let's
Mhm.
choose in the beginning, I set as easy goal as possible. I
Mhm.
just set a goal. I want maximum amount of conversions. That's it.
Right.
Nothing else, nothing super deep, nothing super complicated. And after that, that's it. I just
Yeah.
return in a week and I see, okay, how are we doing? Is it working better or is it working less? But still, again, I would like to also clear a misconception that you don't create new ad texts. You don't do kind of like the copyright side of things, optimization, which is obviously very important as well, right? I mean, if we're talking about face masks, if you're advertising face masks, and unfortunately, or maybe it's very fortunate that Google and many other platforms now refuse advertising of face masks because a lot of people were scamming and so forth. But if I was advertising face masks, um, before the pandemic, I would do it in a different way compared to if I do it now. And the
Mhm.
text should reflect that, the ad text. So you don't do anything about the text, about the actual like marketing assets, what is shown to the customer.
Exactly. So we do not really optimize the text. So we're taking mainly the bid optimization part and
Mm-hmm.
also suggesting the right keywords,
Yeah,
which is also cool features here. And again, one of the values they increase their conversion and save their time, because sometimes it's difficult for the people to find the right keywords, but software will be able to find it right away, suggesting the right keywords, and also for the right campaigns and ad group. So we would also suggest negative keywords, and it's easily they can also keep it yes if they're happy with these suggestions, and then press save, and they
yeah,
will add it. But we will not really optimize.
text
We will
itself.
not exactly text itself. Also create campaigns and so on. So and they can use the time that we save to focus on the other part, optimize it, and then the rest leave it with us to do it.
Okay, that's very, very good. Okay, cool. Can you talk about display optimization? Because when we talk about banners, as you probably know, text-based campaigns are really effective because when people search,
Mm-hmm.
especially with Google, Google seems to be adding more and more ads in organic search. The place dedicated for ads seems to be growing, so I guess they're trying to provide even more exposure to advertisers. So when you have textual advertisement, it's really effective because when person is searching for something, he wants to get a solution to his problem, and at that time, if you are showing the ad, it's very effective because you are able to solve or help solve the problem that person has. Very good. But display advertisements usually suffer from being really ineffective. So as you probably know, click-through rate in display advertisements is really, really poor compared to textual advertisements. What kind of things are you able to do for display campaigns?
So basically, for the display campaign, we are also we are optimize the placement
Oh, the
for the
placement.
this. Yes, we are optimize the placement, and just quickly on the front page, you can also see based on the, for example, how many placement that we have optimized, how many conversions we generated.
So basically, it means that, for example, if I'm being shown constantly on one website, and if you see that website is not bringing conversion, but it's eating a lot of clicks, you will kind of like disable that placement and you will say, okay, we don't show our ad there because it's just not working. We receive 1,000 clicks, zero conversion. Let's
Mm-hmm.
not go there, right? That kind
Right.
of things that you do.
Yes. Right.
Okay, that's cool. And in display, there is not much else you can do, right? You can do optimization of maybe targeting. Do you do any of that, or do you?
Yes. We
Okay,
do
okay,
also
cool.
targeting and also placements,
Okay, okay. So you're
and we
able,
do also yes, and
you're able.
retargeting as well.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. I was just going to say that you optimize, targeting. So you optimize who sees the
Mm-hmm.
the ad, and you also optimize where it's shown, but probably most likely where it's not shown, where it's not working as well, which is probably even more important because if you just enable basic settings in AdWords, for example, you will be shown in mobile games and stuff like that, where most likely you will have zero opportunity for conversions, especially if you're like in B2B sector or something similar. What about remarketing? Is there anything you can do for me when it comes, remarketing, as you probably know, is very powerful when it comes to e-commerce, abandoned checkouts. Remarketing is very good in B2B as well. Do you do any of optimization for remarketing?
So we have also done some also for the remarketing stuff as well. So any kind of advertising that you're doing for the Google, we're able to do that except videos.
Videos. So not yet.
Yes. Not yet. We would be really happy to do that, but the API that we got through the video is a little bit weak, so we are not able really to optimize. So that's why we have decided to not optimize. And
Because you cannot provide good results probably because of the weak
exactly.
API. So you don't want to disappoint customers and so
Exactly.
forth. Okay, cool.
I would like to add something here, which is like,
Yes.
Germans company try to deliver the good and high quality products. So
Yes.
that's why whenever we are not able to deliver this result, so that's why we will not offer these services.
Yeah.
And we will not commit to that.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that you're a German company, but obviously, I guess everybody with a keen eye sees that it's atspert.de, so Germany, and you're a German, company. So if we think based purely on stereotype, I assume you drink beer at the office and you really focus on the quality.
Exactly. But basically, on the Friday evening, we try to drink the beer, but not during time because we have to take in care of their performance.
Yes, yeah. So you can only drink once you kind of like sign off, so the performance doesn't suffer at work.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, I don't drink alcohol myself, but I enjoy non-alcoholic beer. Do you have a lot of non-alcoholic options in Germany? Is it gaining popularity?
Yes, we have also a different range of the non-alcoholic beers, and I think most of the companies are currently producing those beers as well.
That's cool because I'm based in Finland, and if you want alcohol in your beer, you have like 400 different options. But if you want non-alcoholic options, you have like 2, 3 options, measly options, and it's rarely any good. So I always think that there is an untapped market there for people like me who just basically enjoy the bitter taste.
Yes, very welcome to come to Berlin and also connect your account. Start optimization, set the goal in Adspert, and let's have a non-alcoholic beer together.
That sounds great. Thank you very much, Reza. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed spending time with you today and going over your offering. I think it's a really cool tool, but of course, I think the best way to experience it is to try it for free. And if it works out, if optimization is able to achieve good results, basically after that, they can, see if paid account is worth, the value that it has for them. And that's it pretty much. It's been a pleasure. I hope we will be able to meet once this whole horrible situation is over and we are finally able to enjoy uncomfortable flights, and very small space that is allocated for us when we travel. But I would love to come to Germany and maybe I can give you a ring and we can maybe enjoy that beer that you mentioned.
Exactly. But thank you so much, Artem, for your time and also inviting for this podcast. Really appreciate it. And thanks for having me here.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks a lot. I hope we will see all of you guys in Adspert.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.